Good morning, my lovely people out there. Um, Back at it again, popping in for a little bit, just to talk about a few things that's going on in the world. First thing, I would like to discuss the recovery process in Jamaica. I had a few family members that wanted to help in any way they can. Um, there is a disaster relief donation that has been started. I will put the link in my description of my YouTube channel so you can go in. Um, we might can't help everybody, but the few that we can help is good because, if you have the means to help a whole lot of people, great. If you don't, if you can help one, two, three, it's still helping. So the link will be there. Our strategy is to get boots on the ground in Jamaica soon, and then after we get supplies and um, enough supplies to get to the areas that maybe people haven't reached yet. There are areas that are still cut off, and there are people out there that haven't gotten anything. So I'll put the link in my description. So if you want to help out in some way, there you have it. And the explanation will be there. Um, it'll go to a central location and then it will be shipped there. So that's what we're doing. Anyway, I also want to discuss I've seen like the death toll has been rising there, and I have seen some footage where people are complaining of the smell. I don't know. I know the morgues and all of that probably is overwhelmed in Jamaica, and I'm trying to think how can we how can they help with this. Um, so I was thinking mass burial, mass funeral, get the pastors out there, um, designate land for all of that, and then make it a memorial as a remembrance of this storm that came in, which I think it's a freaky kind of storm. I mean, I've been through hurricanes, but it's the first hurricane. Like, I remember going to work and I heard on a news station that it was 175. By the time I went to lunch at work, my eyes went out my socket a little bit because it was up to 185. It's the first storm that's actually, when it's approaching land, that gain speed. Usually when they're coming to a landmass, it kind of reduces speed. Not this one. Some people are saying that there's some divine spiritual behind all of this. Don't know, but also the hurricane hunters, well, the planes that the meteorologists usually send out there to investigate these storms, even though it sounds crazy, they're usually able to fly into the center of the storm and get their readings. This one, they said they couldn't even approach because it was too turbulent. They were able to drop an instrument in it, and that instrument was picking up 240 miles, you know, of wind speed at the time. So that was just weird. Kingston, the capital, was spared and not hit like other areas of the island that was devastated. So that, thank God, was spared, and the airport were able to, fly in at first emergency relief. And I hear that tourists are starting to fly home now. I know their experience was terrible, but the whole island is suffering. And just thank God that you, as a tourist, were able to go home to your home that's not destroyed, and you have shelter and food. Okay, because these people don't have anything, and hotel workers were working even through all that, not knowing if their family was alive or not, and no communication across the island, and people are trying to get Starlink in and all of that. But Jamaica and the people are strong and they're resilient. It might get worse before it get better, but we'll, the island will rebuild and rebuild stronger and better. And you have to be positive, because if you don't remain positive, then the negative will pull you down, and all of that. Um, I had a comment on my last video where the person said, well, they had like 10 days warning and all of that. But when people have not experienced, as far as tourists or people in general have not experienced a hurricane, they don't take things seriously. Until they go through the experience, they realize, oh, this is a serious thing. This is actually scary. And if they are privileged and they always had their lights on, always had shelter, always are able to go where they want, and then suddenly everything is taken away from them, then they're put in this situation and they start complaining and all of that. I mean, that's life. I take hurricanes seriously because I've been through a lot of them, and they're all different in nature. Some are slow. You hate the slow crawling ones because you go through a lot of punishment. The land go through a lot of punishment. The structures go through a lot of turbulence, and if they're slow, what structure can keep up with that punishment of wind coming at it for that long? Also, these hurricanes have tornadoes inside of them sometimes, which is even more destructive. So yeah, when you go through it, then and you hear another one is coming, you take it seriously. Try to get away from the coast, try to get away from body of water, because what is a stream can become a lake. To me, what is a lake can become an ocean, because there's a lot of water coming in. So you learn and you take it seriously, and then yes, people do lose their lives through some of these storms. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that. What's going on in our United States? They just had they call it the blue wave, where a lot of Democrats won a lot of political positions, and they're excited about that, and all of that. So hopefully that's a move in the right direction, because what the other party is doing right now, as far as the country's still in shutdown, this is what going on 30 plus days. The federal, I don't even know how the federal workers are dealing with this. I can't imagine. I know they missed on the 15th, of last month, they didn't get a paycheck. So I'm sure they didn't get another paycheck. And these people have mortgages, they have children to take care of, they need to eat. All the bills, light bills, my electric bill, gas bill, car note, you name it, they have bills. You got to buy gas for your car and all of that. And then, when you hear these people in Congress and Senate speak, all they do is do the blame game. Oh, it's the Democrats, and then you don't even have people there. The speaker have sent people home. You don't have people there sitting down trying to come up with a solution. Okay, you don't like the insurance. You don't like Obamacare. You don't like the affordable care plan that's going on now. Do better. Come up with something better. You know that these people premiums are going to rise if you do nothing. You have people starving. You expect the air traffic control people to continue working. I heard there was a big airplane crash in Kentucky. UPS plane went down, people died. What are you guys doing? How are you making America better again? It's so far from it. So I can understand why there was a blue wave, because they're saying, you guys are in power, you have everything. And then the continuous blame is to blame Biden. Guess what, guys? Biden's not been in office since January. It's your administration. So do something. You know, right now, uh, deportation of immigration is on the low bottom of the list because you need to get your people back to work. And people are upset on both sides. I see people on both sides upset. And then, I think there's the person in New York who won, Zoran. They're calling him communist and all of this stuff. And this man just want free pre-K, and stuff like that. And what are you guys doing? And then, I hear the president raving about Xi, the China president, and he was trying to speak to one of the soldiers, China soldiers, and he asked him a question, and the soldier didn't respond because he was like in the standing straight, military, no response because they're trained to whatever their military training, they're trained not to respond. And he was like, oh, I wish I could get my people like that. I think he referred to his vice president, why don't you be more like that? And he admires these other leaders and Putin, and he wants to be like them, but yet they turn around and call Zoran communist. So my thinking is like, I don't get it. And then when you do look at the Chinese military, they're well trained. Did you see their parade compared to the American military? And then so much that goes on, and you don't understand their thinking, and you wonder what's going on. And their people are always, I hear a lot of news media and podcasts, people calling the current president that he has dementia, he slurs, he's slow, the stuff he's doing is wicked and evil. Okay. Anyway, our people are still out of work, federal workers, and they expect those poor air traffic controller to continue working without getting a paycheck, can't feed their family, and stressing. So I don't blame them if they're looking for other work outside of the government. And I understand why the current administration is not popular at this time. I understand all of that. Yeah, and that's all I have to say today. I want to encourage people. I pray for the people in whoever, all the islands who went through the hurricane and is suffering. I pray for the federal workers. I pray for the United States. And, when bad things continue happening, do you think it's divine, spiritual? Because you are not following what the Lord God, the true God, wants you to do. But anyway, that's it for today. You guys enjoy the rest of the week. Remember the link if you want to donate or do something regarding the hurricane disaster in Jamaica. It will be in my description. And you guys have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend. And yeah, if you like what I have to say, subscribe, like, and just have a wonderful day. See y'all later.